Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to our world today. I'm your lovely host, Nora Sakal. This is the podcast where we address issues that matters. We talk about all things living. Thank you for joining us. If this is your first time, welcome. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome and thank you for your consistency. I want to tell you to go over to our Facebook channel at PMR World Today, our YouTube channel at Out Media, OWT Media. Also, go over to Instagram or Twitter at PMR World Today. Follow, like, subscribe for more contents and cringe worthy entertainment. Thank you for joining us. I hope your week has been wonderful. We have come, today's Saturday, we've come to the end of the week. And I really do hope it has been a productive week for you. If not, we still have enough time to make appropriate changes. As you all know, we have been working on the 15 invaluable laws of growth. And yes, and on Friday, on Thursday rather, we talked on the 14th law, which was the law of expansion. And the law of expansion pretty much tells us that growth always increases our capacity. And in order for us to increase our capacity, we have to increase our thinking capacity, how we think, how we view life, our perspective. We have to learn to ask questions. We have to increase our capacity for action. Instead of saying, can I? We can switch and say, how should I? Right? And also, it helps us to expand our desire for impact, expand our capacity for impact. And today we are on the final law, the final law of this amazing, amazing book in leadership and personal development, which is law number 15, and it is the law of contribution. Yes, the law of contribution. Now, what is the law of contribution talking about? What is the law of contribution all about? The law of contribution pretty much states that it states that for growing yourself enables you to grow others. So, in order for you to grow or help others and add value to others, you have to first off work on you and grow yourself. So the law of contribution is emphasizing that you grow yourself so you are enabled to add and grow and uh, help others become also their best self. Now, the truth is others do need to grow too. Yes, that is the truth. So adding value to others comes with a lot of uh, responsibility. It's not just a thing that you say by mouth, right? So how does the law of contribution work? How do you add value to others? See, you cannot give what you do not have. In order for you to give what you do have, you must first become that very thing which you want to give. Daily ask yourself, what good shall I do today? What value am I adding today? What good have I done today? How have I impacted the life of someone today positively? How have I impacted my community, my society, the world at large today? Right? And once you start to ask yourself these questions, you realize, okay, there is more to it than just getting up and showing up. Right? So you start by working on you, asking questions. Now, you have to be a river and not just a reservoir. Hmm. A reservoir is a backup plan. A reservoir is a backup plan, but a river is a source. Everything flows from it. The daily activities, the daily needs flows from that. You know, I want to ask this few questions, and the questions are excellent for identifying someone who can encourage us to be our best, right? So ask these questions: who mentors you and offers you a baseline of wisdom? Who does that? Who mentors you to inspire to be a better person? Who challenges you to think, just Think, right? Think beyond just yourself. Who challenges you to do that? Who cheers on your dreams, right? Who says, yes, you can do it. Keep going. Who does that? Also, uh, who cares enough to rebuke you? When we talk of rebuke, we talk of correction. Oftentimes, we have this notion that in order for someone to love you or for someone to accept you, they have to accept everything that you do. And that's not true. See, love comes with rebuke. Love comes with correction. If I love you, I will tell you the truth. If I love you, I will tell you what's right and what's wrong. If I love you, I will tell you what you're doing and how it's not building you. I would want to see the best for you, not just saying yes or agreeing with you just because I feel like that's the best way that will make you happy or will please you or whatever the case might be. No, if I care about you enough, I rebuke you when you are wrong. I correct you when you are wrong. And I applaud you when you are right. I bring to your knowledge or to your understanding or to your attention the actions that you're taking and how it's affecting not just you, but the people around you. And that's true love. That's true concern. True love does not just accept everything and everything. Just because you like doing what you want to do does not mean it's correct. So if I love you enough, I am able to bring that into correction. I'm able to point that out because I care about your well-being. I care about you having a good moral standard. I care about all that, right? So who is around you that loves you enough to rebuke you? Who do you have around you? Who is merciful when you have failed? Who looks at you and say, "Hey, you know what? You made a mistake and that's okay. You're gonna bounce from this. That's okay. Learn from it." And they tell you how to obtain teachable actions. Oh my God, the birds are chirping. It's beautiful outside, guys. The birds are chirping. The weather is beautiful. So, who shares the load in pressurized moments without being asked? When you're going through um, kind of like a dark cloud, when you're going through a moment of phase, who shares the load, that pressurized moments with you? Who brings fun and laughter into your life? Who makes sure that things seem light, when you're overwhelmed and they just come and they entertain you with their jokes and their comedy or whatever way that, helps you lighten up the process? Who inspires you to seek faithfully after God? Who inspires you for a spiritual life? See, the law of contribution goes beyond just superficial ways of doing things. It goes beyond yourself. It seeks for something deeper. It goes deep within in terms of purpose, in terms of spirituality, in terms of our purpose of creation. So who inspires you to seek faithfully after our creator, after God, who loves you unconditionally? Without pointing out your mistakes all the time, without saying, I told you so all the time, without, always making it seem like you are a failure, you are a loser, you can't mount up to nothing. Now that I've asked you these questions to evaluate who is doing that to you, I want you to turn these questions around on yourself and reflect on how you can be this person to someone else. Because as much as we have expectations from people, people also have expectations from us. See, I notice there is something that's common amongst us humans, amongst us people. We always have these expectations for people to do well by us, to be kind, to be nice, to love, to forgive, to have mercy. But in return, we do not reciprocate those same expectations that we have. See, we expect mercy while we're not giving mercy. We expect grace while we're not giving grace. We expect love while we're not, demonstrating and showing true, genuine love. We expect forgiveness while we're not forgiven. Can you be this person to someone else that you are expecting that someone to be to you? See, you have to give to grow, and you have to grow in order for you to give. You have to know when to make the right contribution choices. You have to be grateful. We talked about this before. Live with an abundance attitude. Put people first. I want to ask yourself, is there anything more important than people? Your job that you're going and you're doing, is it more important than the people that surrounds you or the people that you work with? The life you're living, the money you're seeking after. How far would you go to get the things that you want to get without caring how it affects the people around you? If you are a leader, either people will be first or you won't be the leader that the leader for a very long time. Don't let stuff own you. Don't be consumed by the material stuff. See, when we look for money, oftentimes people look for money, but they don't understand the reason why they look for money. Money is to serve us in two instances, in two situations. Money is not so that you can be looked upon and, you know, and like this big guy or this top guy or all that. No, money is we look for money or we want to have money so that we can have options and also so that we can serve others. See, when you have money, you have the ability to cause influence, right? So, and that influence you're causing is for the betterment of the people. So if your life's work is to have a life's work, then you are working for the wrong thing. So you can't let stuff own you. The house does not own you. You own the house. The cars, they do not own you. You own the cars. Your job does not own you. You own the job. I want you to remember you are the one that brings value to these things. These things, they don't bring value to you. Because the only reason why someone knows that you own a Range Rover or Lamborghini or Toyota is because you own it. It's because you are driving it. The Toyota does not own you. It stays in that dealership until someone buys it. So don't allow the car to give you the identity. Don't allow the items, the stuff to give you identity. You bring identity to those things. Also, don't let people own you. Owe no man anything, and let not others owe you. Learn to not owe anybody anything. So you have to graciously accept gifts, but never as a means to control you. Sometimes people give gifts to people as a way to control them, as a way to manipulate them. So if someone is giving something to you so that tomorrow when they come to you, they can be able to say, remember that one time I did this. Remember that one time I helped you in this. Remember that one time I said this or I did that. Those are not gifts. If you are ever giving anything to anybody with an expectation, and again, I say it all the time, it's not a gift, it's a transaction. That's a business transaction. So never allow people to own you. Don't allow people to control you because you depend on them financially or because you depend on them some kind of, whichever kind of way. You have to learn to hold on to your dignity, your self-worth, your respect, your values, regardless of your financial status, regardless of what you have as material things. You have to learn to understand that you are far more valuable than those things. And once you are able to allow people to look at you as inferior because they have what they think defines mankind, and you do not possess those things, and you allow them to control, manipulate, and suppress you, then you've given up who you are. You've given up your own very gift, which is the gift of free will. You've given up your freedom. You've given up your rights. A slave is not only someone that is, forced to work and being whipped to do things against their will. A slave is someone that has no right. And once you sell your right to somebody because you depend on them for money, you depend on them. Ladies, let me talk to my ladies. Because this is something that has been planted into the mind of us women, that we feel like we have to depend on a man to sustain us in our marital homes. And so we go out there looking for men that are financially stable, not for the purpose that, okay, we want security, or we want a home that we can bring in balance and we can contribute and help each other build and grow, but because we think that we want someone we can depend on. And once that person uses that for their advantage and they begin to suppress you and control you and take advantage over your own will and right and make you feel like you are less than, because they are the ones that are providing shelter, feeding, food, even the very lip gloss that you got to put on your lip, you have to ask for permission. We have to break that stigma to think that because you're depending on somebody, you have to give up your right. That is not something that we have to succumb to. And I'm speaking to the ladies in particular. I'm not saying it's not common with the men, because we do have some of these ladies that are out there that are sponsors or are the ones that are the breadwinners in the home, and they want to control the men and suppress the men and silence the men. But it's more common amongst the women, because the society is pushing it to make it seem like this is a man's world. And a woman now has to depend on that man, and that man wants to use that as a right to suppress that woman. I don't care what kind of background you come from. I don't care how poor you are. I don't care how uneducated you are. I don't care if you have nothing. You came from nothing by the world's standard and definition. I don't care even if he picked you up from the slums. I don't care if he picked you up from the prostitution house, or from the drug rehab center, or wherever it is that he picked you up from, quote unquote. You have to learn to hold on to your dignity and your right as a human being. You can't give that up just because someone thinks that you depend on them financially. And they say, if you do not do this, I kick you out of my house. If you do not do this, I do this to you. If you do not do this, I stop doing that. Well, let me tell you something, breaking news. Whether that person helps you or not, they are not the only one, or neither are they the holders of your destiny. You have to stop being afraid and start taking action. And knowing that people do not own you. Nobody owns you. I don't care how poor you are. I don't care if you come from the high class, middle class, or lower class. I don't care about your economic status. No human being owns you or have any right to control you. And we have to understand this very fact. We have to understand this very fact. You must learn to know when and cut off from all this manipulation, emotional manipulation, financial manipulation, social manipulation, economical manipulation. Your desperation for success should never, ever cause you to give up your right to live and to be as a human being. Your right for free will. It should never, ever. So you can graciously accept gifts. When someone comes to you and they're offering these things to you, make it clear. Let them know, I do not need this, but if you do give this to me, I accept it graciously. But I'm not accepting this because you think I have to do something to you or for you later in the future. So never allow those things control you. Never. Also, I want you to learn, you have to learn to define success as sowing, not just reaping. There are some things that you would do today that you might necessarily not benefit from, but the next generation might. You may never see the harvest of your labor, directly, but the next phase of our society, the next generation will. I want you to think about those who have plowed the ground for you. I never knew how much they influenced you. You enjoying electricity today. Did you invent electricity? But the guy that invented electricity, he's here, he's no more. You're enjoying all the technology today. Did you do anything to contribute to that? But you're enjoying it. So success is not just always reaping. It is, think of it as sowing, as giving. Success is beyond just you taking, receiving. It's beyond that. It's beyond that. So commit now to not leave this world without having impacted others for good, without having adding value in the lives of people. Stop thinking only about, well, I'm working for them. What am I going to eat? Who is working for me? Plenty of people worked for you. The things you are benefiting from, you did not work for it. It is not only about you. It is not. Learn to see success as your ability to grow, not just you, but the world at large. The world at large. And then when it comes to the law of contribution, you have to keep growing and keep giving. People who stop growing will never. People who stop growing, will stop giving. And people who do not stop growing will never stop giving. Because the more you grow, the more you give. And giving in your time, giving in your knowledge, giving in resources, giving in so many ways. In money, so many ways. There are times somebody might be having a rough day and they call you. And maybe you are not even in the best of moods. But what they need from you at that moment is just a listening ear. And you sacrifice, you go beyond yourself, and you sit there and you listen. You sit there and you listen. And they vent and they release all that they're holding within them. And then they feel better. And they tell you, thank you. That's contributing. Contribution goes in so many ways. Not just looking at people and thinking the worst of them. No. See, when you stop growing, you lose your passion. So you cannot stop growing. The greatest gift you can give someone is your own personal development. Because once you develop yourself, once you grow yourself, once you build yourself, once you become your best self and you tap into every resource, every seed, every potential, you maximize that, you mature that, the people around you begin to benefit from it. That's the greatest gift you can give someone, because then in that phase, you know how to love genuinely. You know how to forgive genuinely. You know how to be merciful. You know how to extend grace. You know how to feel, be compassionate. You express compassion. You have sympathy, empathy. You feel the pain for people. You understand the situations people are going through, the situation people are going through. So when we talk on this whole personal development, it's beyond oneself. It goes beyond you. It goes beyond your own personal need for achievement, accomplishment, and success. It goes beyond that. It is for the people around you. It is for your children, your children's children. Because what the seed you plant in the life of your kids, those kids carry those seeds and they plant it in the lives of the people they associate with, their friends. Their friends take that and plant it in the life of others. It is far more deeper than we think, far more bigger than we can imagine, far more greater than we can fathom. far more. So we must learn to apply these laws in our lives. Because as a result, you show others the way and it empowers them. They learn from it and they start to live it too. And that's how you transform your world. You transform first your nation and then the nation at large. You might not be able to sit on the table in the United Nations and make decision. You might not be able to sit on the table in the presidency and make decision, but you are able to work on you and influence the very next person, the person right next to you, of whom tomorrow might be the president of the very country that you are in, and will be the leader of the next generation that you pass on. The influence goes beyond generation to generation. So as I summarize this, I want you to ask yourself, what is your underlying desire in life? What is it? Self-fulfillment or self-development? Because those are two different things. First off, you cannot be fulfilled if you're not developed. What are your best efforts focused on? Are your best efforts focused on making you feel good or making someone else feels good? Or making someone else successful? Or making someone else be transformed? I want you to consider how others may own you through unhealthy relationships, unfair expectations, or undesired attention. Make the needed adjustments for those relationships. Make it today. Ask yourself, are you a go-getter or a go-giver? Just think about the meaningful actions which you have implemented through the days, the weeks that we've gone through these lessons. What have you taken at heart? What do you need to change? Because meaningful actions is very important for us to apply that in our lives and so it can transform us. Meaningful actions, intentional actions for transformation and growth. I want you to celebrate all the accomplishments, all the little victories that you have occurred by rising to the challenge, by rising to the changes, by rising and challenging yourself. I want you to think about your legacy, the legacy of your family, your future. We were brought on this earth to go to give because we have already received. What is your purpose? What is your goal? What is your desire? What is your relationship with God? Where are you spiritually? Where do you stand? Where do you stand? What have you been doing so far with all that God has given to you? Your God-given gifts, your God-given talents. What are you doing with it? As you think on those things and you meditate on those things, evaluate your life and make the necessary changes that you need to make so you can become the person you were created to be. Thank you so very much for going through this process. We have come to the very end of this amazing book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. I want you to give yourself a warm clap, a warm applause. Obviously, this is a journey of a lifetime. Your transformation starts here. Your transformation starts now. Take these laws, apply them, and change them. And I hope to hear the testimonies, the impact it made, because it changed me. It changed my life for the better. For the better. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your girl, Nora Sakal. I will see you next week, Monday. Same time, same place. Okay? Go over again to our YouTube channel at Out Media, OWT Media. Like, subscribe. Go over to our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Like, subscribe, and share at PM Our World Today. Again, PM Our World Today. And if you would like to send us questions concerning anything, we will take a day, address them, answer them. Please send us an email at Our World Today, CLF@gmail.com. Again, Our World Today, CLF@gmail.com. Or send us a message on WhatsApp at 240-838-0746. I'm your girl, Nora Sakal. I will see you next time. Remember, be safe, be productive, and not just be busy. God bless you. I love you. Chris Shalom.